See the shadow on the wall. How could it be standing tall? Guess the shape, that's the frame. Play this fun little game. Who's that figure in the dark? Mystery leaves a mark. Outline tells a hidden truth. Who is hiding in the proof? Silhouettes in the night, guessing the mystery right. Who is it I'm gonna find? Guess the shadow on my mind. Could it be a friend or foe, standing there in shadows glow? Is it someone that I knew? Silhouette shows just a clue. Tracing lines with my eyes, shake that holds a sweet surprise. Guess again, try to see who's this shadow gonna be. In the dark where lights don't reach, silhouettes they start to teach. Every curve and every line, gonna crack this case just fine. Oh! Silhouettes in the night, guessing the mystery right. Who is it I'm gonna find? Guess the shadow on my mind. Could it be a friend or foe, standing there in shadows glow? Is it someone that I knew? Silhouette shows just a clue. Tracing lines with my eyes, shake the holds a sweet surprise. Guess again, try to see who's this shadow gonna be. In the dark where lights don't reach, silhouettes they start to teach. Every curve and every line, gonna crack this case just fine. Oh! Or is it I'm gonna find? Get the shadow on my mind.
And now they can hear us, and now I gotta come over to Discord and click you so they see your symbol. And we gotta bring up the scoreboard so they can see that. And oh, we also need to move my camera so they can see me. Not that they really need to see me, they just need to see whatever I'm going to show for the thing. So tonight it's DC Comics. Are you more DC or Marvel? I forget. I think you've said in the past in the chat.
I'm more familiar with Marvel comics because growing up, only knew about Batman, mostly knew about Batman and Superman from the movies and the TV show. And then I knew about Spider-Man. I'd seen Spider-Man a few times because of the Electric Company.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
But then 1992 hit, and then the X-Men cartoon was on, and then 94 hit, and then the Spider-Man cartoon was on, and the Marvel Action Hour was on, and the Hulk cartoon showed in 97. So throughout all the 90s, all these Marvel properties just kept getting released. And
Yeah.
so
Also, the Hulk actually had a show around the same time as Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
oh yeah, they had the Bill Bixby show. My older brother loved that show.
No.
When he was a kid.
I'm not talking about. There is the live action one. That's more the 70s. There was an actual cartoon that came on.
Oh, yeah.
For the Hulk right after. Usually Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yep, I watched that show too.
Yeah, same here.
So in the 90s, Marvel they did a really good job of just like letting people know who their characters were.
Yeah.
So by the time the X-Men movie showed up, by the time Blade showed up in the Blade movie, I knew him from the Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And when the X-Men movie showed, I knew that from the X-Men cartoon. And then when the MCU showed up, I was like, oh, well, actually, I started reading comics, I actually buying comics in 2003.
Ah,
So mostly bought Marvel.
yeah,
But when it comes
because
to
that's what you
DC,
knew.
but when
Yeah,
it comes to DC, I mostly know it from like Super Friends and Challenge of the Super Friends and
yeah,
Adam West show
yeah,
and Tim Burton movie and the Christopher Reeve Superman movie. And
yeah,
then the 90s DC Warner Brother cartoons, Justice League, all that stuff.
yeah,
So, but the only books I ever bought were the Infinite Crisis in the
yeah,
2000s.
yeah, yeah. That,
That's
that's
my
the
history with all of them.
yeah. I'd say that's the problem with DC. They, for the longest time, they focused on Superman and Batman. The odd time another character would get something, like in the 90s, The Flash had a TV series that lasted one season. They did do the Super Friends a couple times, in Justice League, which is basically, the Super Friends is basically the Justice League.
Mhm.
So you got to know a few other characters. Of course, they did have Wonder Woman. She had her own series in the 70s as well.
Yep.
Uh, but, very few. Actually, Plastic Man had a cartoon too, but
I saw it a few times, but I was like 3 or 4.
yeah, I actually own that on DVD. And I've watched it all the way through. But unfortunately, back then, I'm not sure whether it was owned by DC at that point yet or not. But it
Well,
wasn't originally
I,
owned by DC. Plastic Man.
I didn't know that.
I think came out. Was owned by Charlton Comics. I could be wrong. And he first debuted in Police Comics #1, I believe. But all that aside, even if he was, thing at that point, DC's had some the properties, but most of the time they're not going beyond, Superman, Batman. You know, those two have had so many shows or movies put together. It's unbelievable.
Yep. They really, well, the Justice League cartoons in the late 1990s and early 2000s, they really helped introduce me to a lot of DC characters that I'd
Yeah,
never even heard of before.
yeah. Um, I didn't start reading actual comics till the '90s when uh, Bruce Wayne got his back broken, Batman got his back broken from Bane, and Superman was dead. Actually, no,
Oh, yeah.
I was reading Archie before that. Excuse me. But
That's,
super.
yeah, that's actually around the time. Well, I didn't go to comic shops or anything, but I go to spinner racks and I went to Walmart, and as a kid, they had these packs of comics where they they were selling the
Yeah, three in a bag.
Nightfall comic. Yeah. Yeah, and they had a card and a poster in it, and I got some of those wait, is it the Superman? The
Reign of the Superman.
I don't know. Yeah, it was some Reign of the Superman
Yeah,
books
yeah, with
and
yeah.
some Nightfall books in some packs. Like they were plastic sealed, and those were probably the first DC books I got.
Oh, cool.
Or
Yeah.
I think they
Uh,
were reprints, right?
I'm not sure what they would have been in those packages. Maybe they were extras that they had that they put into the packages. They could have been reprints too. I don't know offhand. Um, I've never looked into what those bags usually contain, whether they're reprints or just extras that they have lying around that they want to get rid of so they sell cheap together or whatever. Could be either or neither.
Yeah, well, I think they're reprints because I think I might have took them to a comic shop to get appraisal, and they were like, "Oh, you see it doesn't have a barcode on it," and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, see right here where the barcode's supposed to be on the cover, it's not there." I was
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
I don't think that would necessarily be a reprint at that point. I think they did produce both at that time. And I could be wrong about that too. But because the comic shops would get them one way or whatever, and then some other places would get them other ways. Because I think I'd have to look for that time whether mine had barcodes on or not. Because I have a few from that era, a few comics. I have some from before that time too, because there was a couple. There was my dad lived in this really small town, Cleverly. It was like a blink you miss it town or village, if you want to call it that. But
oh, that kind of sounds like the name of the town I live in.
but this is it was right on the highway, right? Well, just off to the highway. There was a bookstore there that had old books, old comics, and they were a really good deal. I got a whole bunch of comics off that guy while my dad lived there. Whenever I'd go up to visit him, just that would be like a 2 hour thing. If I had any money, okay, go over like through the comics, see what there is that I want.
Yep. That seemed like the only way I get comics though, if it was like on the spinner rack or in some kind of pack back then. But those were well, okay. The first DC comic book I got was not. It was the Batman 3D with the 3D glasses. That's the real one because
Uh,
a comic book shop opened in our town, and my dad was like, "Get whatever you want," and I got the Batman 3D book with the
cool.
3D glasses. But that wasn't a serialized comic that would come out every month.
Yeah. And hello, Metal. Metal's in the chat. Thinking about what we've said, I guess. I'm not sure. So yeah. And we got about 3 minutes till, we hit that 15-minute mark. And I wonder if anybody's going to be here for the first few or whether they're lurking, just waiting for the first image to come up.
That'd be smart. A strategy.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if people got here faster, we would start a little sooner. If we could get people in here waiting for the 7 o'clock time, right? I would be starting pretty much right at 7 or shortly after my little intro theme song played.
That's true.
Metal says, I'm not here.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I hope someone shows up.
My question is, how can he say he's not here if he's not here?
Hmm.
But anyway, oh yeah, last week Joshua went up into second place. He's got about just under half the points of Outcast. Outcast is actually really leading this season. Fitz is in third. Tim actually got bumped up to fourth. He's above.
Oh, how many does the metal have?
None. Metal doesn't participate.
What?
He never participated last season, and he probably won't participate this season. I think he thinks he would outdo everybody and get every single one, get first place, and he wants to give people a chance.
Got to keep that competitive spirit in check.
Metal says, "I'm actually over there."
Oh.
Where is over there?
Over there.
You sure it's not over there?
Yeah, over there.
But what if it's over there?
Then it's over there.
But what if he's over there?
And he's over there.
Well, that could go on forever. Well, it is quarter after. And it seems like we have nobody here. So the question is, does it seem like anybody is ready? Are you ready for round one? Do you think you might? What do you think the chances of you getting round one are?
Well, round one is supposed to be easy. So, yeah, I think I could get round one.
Metal says, I'm definitely not under there. Okay, so here we go. Let's see whether anybody pops up out of the woodwork after we reveal the first image. Now, with it being easy, do you think this one is easy?
Yeah, that one's easy.
So you're positive you know who it is?
Yeah, I'm 90% positive.
Only 90? Wow.
Well, I got to give myself a 10% chance of error. I'd be really embarrassed if I was wrong. I don't want to be overconfident.
We got Joshua here. Somebody is here finally, and he has put an answer in the chat, and he is saying Harley Quinn. Do you think that answer is correct?
That's possible. That's very possible. That's a good answer. Let's see if anybody else comes up with any other answer.
Yeah. Metal says you have to know the best leader Joshua is always lurking, only chatting when it matters. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Will I go to 18? Unless it turns really quick here. We'll go to. You know what? We'll just put the counter on. We will counter this. Do 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 do. Oh, Timothy's here and he says Harley Quinn as well.
Oh, that's two for her then.
Actually, technically, at first he said Harley Quinn. He forgot his E. And then he corrected himself. Typing too fast. Well, so is that actually who you think this is? Do you think this is Harley Quinn?
Yes, I believe it's Harley Quinn.
Well, you know,
Harleen Quinzel.
You know what? You're right.
What? All right.
I wanted to make you for a second there think you that you were wrong. Okay, so Joshua is getting first, followed by Tim. Tim, you pulled up to fourth place. If you do really good, I'm not sure whether you'd be able to get up to third, but if you keep coming, you will. And participating, you could get up past Fitzchozo. It's hard to say. Tim says, well, no sheet.
Oh dear.
Not you know what comes out of your butthole, but no sheet, like a sheet of paper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he missing his sheet of paper.
He says, well, booyah to being in fourth place. And he's saying, watch your butt, third place. So, anyways, that is round one done. So we're on to round two. And there's no joke about it.
Hmm. Okay, that one's tough. Why do you pick one so tough for round 2?
Hey, Lorenzo. Lorenzo's here. He's saying, hail, Rick, Tim, Metal, and Joshua. What about Alpha Proto? Lorenzo,
Yeah,
are you
I love
leaving
your
Alpha?
oil. I watched the whole movie about it.
Lorenzo stacks oil? I didn't know he had oil.
Yeah, Lorenzo's oil.
Joshua is saying Supergirl, and Tim says the same. And then he says,
Those
what's
are
up?
reasonable.
So, do you think this could be Supergirl, or do you think it's somebody else?
Possibly. It does remind me of her, but it reminds me of someone else possibly.
Who else, possibly? Or do you
Well,
actually?
I don't want to give away an answer though.
Well, Lorenzo, are you going to play the Silhouette game tonight? Since you're here. You can copy answers, that's all right. You get points, and then you can redeem them for various things. Lorenzo says, hey, Alpha Proto, I didn't realize you were here. Yes, Alpha Proto is actually my co-host for the Silhouette game.
Yes, indeed.
And he hasn't got ChatGPT the last few times to give him that really awesome entrance or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I have to type it in and ask it. Give me a really good entrance for the Silhouette game. Then I have to read it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lorenzo is not answering one way or another, it seems, at the moment. So. And we got Fitzchozo here. I'm playing Fallout 4 and it keeps crashing on me near the broken monorail. Ah. Okay, well, we are still on round 2 and somebody can get third place if they want to, if they think they know who this is. Joshua says could be Mary Marvel or Miss Martian. Fitzchozo says Raven.
See, that's what I was thinking. Those few. So it's not obvious, you know?
Okay, well, I know you're playing Fallout 4, but you can play the Silhouette game and two at the same time. You got your computer nearby, anyways. I don't think he's going to be doing it. So, who do you actually think this is? You know, you've said the possibilities. Which one do you actually think it is?
Well, since this is number 2 and she has a movie coming up, I'll say Supergirl.
Well, that was a super answer, and it was correct.
All right. That was scary. I thought it might have been Miss Martian or whatever.
So we have Josh and Tim again in first and second. Lorenzo says, I'm still mourning the loss of the Joshua multiverse. I don't think we've lost it. It just hasn't appeared in a while. Some of the variants haven't poked their head. Tim says too easy.
Yeah, number 2 is easy.
Well, it's supposed to be too, first of all. And, well, we did say some others. I was thinking of using Raven for number 2, and I'm not saying Raven's not here, but I used Raven before in one, so I thought I'm not going to use Raven. So actually, that practically tells you there's going to be no Raven in any of these tonight. And just don't go raving about it to me.
Oh, that's discriminating against her cult.
Yes. Metal says when it is Raven, Joshua will be the first to know. So, anyways, let's get out of this one and take a super flight over to round 3.
Okay.
Joshua says no Raven. Metal says hell Raven. Tim said let's go. So anything? Yeah, you think you know who this might be?
I think it's one of 2 characters.
We have Fitzjoseph says, I guess RE9 means Resident Evil 9 just came out. Gameplay is basically Alien Isolation so far. Tim says Hawkman. Fitzjoseph says Hawkgirl. And then Tim goes boom. And then Joshua says Hawkgirl. And then Lorenzo says we've lost the Joshua Shoes Magazine. Joshua Shoes Magazine. Joshua. And countless other alternate Joshuas. And Tim goes, damn it, I was wrong. Can't change my answer.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Family show, family show.
And then Joshua says, watch him say it's technically Hawkwoman. Well, no. So who are you thinking this is? Or were thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the legs, and those legs look feminine, and it kind of tapers at the hips a little bit. Plus the weapon. I'm not sure if Hawkman has that mace thing. So I'm going to say Hawk Girl. Unless it's Hawk Woman now. I don't know.
Well, technically there is a Hawk Girl and a Hawk Woman, but this is Hawk Girl.
Aha!
So you had the eye on the prize, and so did a couple other people. But Tim wasn't one of them. So Fitzchozo gets first place this round, followed by Joshua. And Tim gets no points.
Better luck next time.
And Tim says, yes, he does. Yes, Hawkman does have a mace as well. Tim says, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Family show, family show.
Okay.
You're going to have 5-year-olds saying that.
I doubt any 5-year-olds are watching this.
What? 5-year-olds love Silhouette Game.
Anyways, Joshua, someone should draw fan art of Hawkgirl wielding the hate mace. Okay.
She could scream. Do that scream like she did in the movie.
Lorenzo says, is there a hawk toe? I don't know what a hawk toe is. But I guess we need to do like the hawk and sort of veer in on round 4. So, any clue as who this might be?
Oh boy.
Hate Girl would be a
one.
fun fan character, says Metal. It's tough, but come on. You know you would get it if you were out in the audience. Tim is saying Green Arrow. Do you think this is Green Arrow?
It's, well, he's disintegrating or something, ain't he? His legs, that's part of his powers, whoever that is, right?
Metal says, heresy to the world. Hate mace comes from but none, but fun none the less. Fitzchoso is saying Speedy. Lorenzo says Hawk 2E. So we're just waiting on Joshua to see whether he's got a clue. Or whether he thinks this is Speedy, whether he thinks this is Green Arrow or some other character.
This is too tough for number 4.
And Tim says to Lorenzo, no, it's Hawk 2, eh?
Oh, it's Canadian?
I don't know. Maybe that's Lorenzo's guess for this character, Hawk 2E.
Not Hawk 2A?
Yeah. And Joshua says Slade. And Lorenzo says, thanks. It's Tim. It's been a while since I've seen that interview. And by Slade, I think he means Deathstroke, Slade Wilson. And
the Terminator?
Yes, and he would be right.
Wow.
Joshua, and I didn't ask you. You thought it actually was.
See, I couldn't tell who it was. I didn't know it was the Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby.
That's the wrong Terminator, eh? But Joshua certainly terminated that round. Tim says to Metal to explain the joke to me. So, I just wanted the ground stuff there. I could have taken it out. I just thought it'd be interesting to have the ground stuff there.
It made it difficult. It could have been Sandman or something.
Yeah, Metal says to Tim, I could, but I won't. Okay, so that is round 4 done, and let's see whether anybody. It's been terminated. Let's see whether we can terminate another round with round 5. Now, this round, do you think you know who the character is?
I believe I do.
How sure would you be about that?
80% sure.
I guess that's better than 3/4. 75%.
Yep.
Tim saying the Penguin, followed by Fitzchoso by a half a hair. Who's also saying the Penguin. Tim saying he's back on the board, baby. That's if you're right.
That's a good point.
And Joshua is saying Penguin. And since there is nobody else here, well, who do you think it is actually first? Are you agreeing?
Well, it's not Detective Chimp. It's the Penguin.
Well, you guys waddled into the right answer there. So, yeah.
Good work.
Tim says 100% sure. How am I not right? We didn't say you weren't not right. I'm just trying to throw a little, before I actually reveal it, suspicion on that the fact that you might not be right. So Tim is getting some more points, followed by Fitzchoso. followed by Joshua. Well, so Tim has gotten points 3 out of 4 rounds, or 3 out of 5 rounds, so, he's going up the ladder. But Fitzchozo is here tonight too, and he's earning some points too, Tim. So he could widen the gap between you, he could not. And Tim says, damn right. And then he says, boom, again.
Whoa.
Again? I think he meant again. Penguins, the most unholy of creatures. Says, thing. Metal. So, Pierce, people were able to waddle into the right answer. Let's see whether we can get them to open up the right answer with an umbrella this time. I'm not sure how that's going to make sense. Round 6, anyways.
That looks like kind of an animated style.
It definitely is. And this is technically a hint if anybody was listening earlier, where we were actually talking about this character earlier.
Oh.
Now, we were talking about quite a few characters, so with that hint, any ideas who it might be?
Yeah, I have a good idea who it could be.
Well, we have Tim saying Elastic Man, and then we have Joshua saying Plastic Man, and then Fitzchozo said Dick Grayson. And then Tim says, damn it, I mean Plastic Man.
Whoa.
Well, too late.
Look at the 5-year-olds.
No.
Look at the 5-year-olds watching.
Should we? Elastic, yeah, it's similar. The question is, do we give it to
That's
Tim?
a totally different word.
Yeah. And it's not really close. And he sort of admit that he meant, but he said he meant that, but so it's bad typing. The P is not really close to the E either, so I don't think we can give it to him because it is Plastic Man.
I knew it. The hair gave it away.
Tim says, don't call Rick a 5-year-old.
I'm not. I'm thinking of our viewers. All the people in TV land.
Fitzchozo says, there is no Elastic Man that we know of. Maybe somebody did something called in the Indies called Elastic Man. I don't know about. Metal says, if 5-year-olds are watching this, I want a word with their parents.
What? What's more innocent than, you're on YouTube and you're flipping through all the recommendeds and then it's like, oh, Silhouette Game. This seems family friendly. And then all this bad language pops up and then you got 5-year-olds saying the D word.
The D word. You make it sound as bad as the F word.
Hey, these lettered words,
And Tim says to Fitzchozo, yeah, I thought there was. Metal says, there is an elongated man, though. Yeah, so he was combining Plastic Man and Elongated Man. Well, enough people weren't able to stretch the right answer, so let's see whether they can stretch a right answer out this time in round 7. Metal says, damn, it's in the Bible. I think he gets a pass. Same with ass, although it's referring to it. In the King James, there is the word ass, but it's referring to a donkey because back in medieval times, when it was written, well, not written, but when it was translated into English, ass is what they called a donkey.
I'm going by FCC rules, not Bible rules. America doesn't allow that. Take it up with the FCC.
Yeah, well, I'm in Canada. We have different restrictions. I'm not sure whether they'd be allowed, but. But we are on to round 7. Any Tim saying Ra's al Ghul. Do you think this is Ra's al Ghul?
No.
Fitzchozo's doing the thing too. And Tim says, what year of rules were you using?
What year? Back in the 90s. When I watched TV.
Yeah, well, nowadays, damn would be on TV easiest.
Whoa, he said it again. That's PG-13 right there.
Joshua, are you doing something? Lorenzo says the King James Bible was pisses against the wall.
Yeah, that's in there.
Tim says, next you're going to be telling me I cannot say the word hire.
Wait, huh? You can hire people. You're an employer.
Tim says they said the word damn on television in the 90s.
What? Don't you remember Gone with the Wind? That shocked people. When that guy was like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a... And they were like, whoa, he said that in
I thought
movie?
he said I don't give a darn, not a damn.
Whoa, come on. Ross, you just said it. You would have shocked 1940s or 50s people.
Yeah, 1940s and 50s, not 90s or 2000s.
I mean, my word. What kind of game show is this?
I'd say a realistic one, but we're dealing with cartoons, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Joshua doesn't seem to be answering. Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't in the 90s. It was made originally in the 40s or 50s or 30s or whatever. I'm sure they played it somewhere in the 90s. Tim. Well, 1939, says Lorenzo, for Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, all those people walked out of the theater like, they let them say that in a movie.
So I'm putting the counter up for Joshua. Metal says, limited swearing included damn is the only TV PG. It doesn't become TV 14 until it either becomes excessive or advances up to F-bombs.
You going by Canadian broadcasting?
That is the current FCC standard, says Metal.
What does this world come to? I was watching cable when they were cussing. I was like, what? This isn't paid. This is just basic cable. How could TBS be saying this?
Well, I don't know. But Joshua doesn't seem to be answering. And unfortunately, do you have any idea who this might be?
No, I don't. I see rings around fists.
Yes.
And
a
pop collar.
This is not Ra's al Ghul, and it's not a pop collar either. This is Dr. Polaris.
See, I could have never guessed that because he's never been on TV or in a movie. What a polarizing answer.
He's really magnetic. He has, magnetic powers. Jim says double ring fisting.
Are those poles? He's holding poles. The north and
That's
south.
that's not even in his normal. Yes, it is. Fitzjoseph. I've read several comics with him in. This is his thing. Dr. Polaris is a Green Lantern villain, says Fitzjoseph. Tim also said, if you're paying for it, that's why you get away with it. Bah humbug, he said too. Metal said the point of parental advisory is parents aren't okay with that language. That's on them to have a better relationship with their kids.
Well, yeah,
Fitzjoseph,
I'd never get away with saying that.
Fitzjoseph says, I like his OG costume better. I'm not sure whether he had a different.
1990s. It looks like 90s art.
Yeah, but Dr. Horus. Why does this thing never? Oh, I definitely like his newer costume better. I'm not sure whether this is his original one, but copy and this is from the DC's Who's Who. There's what. I'm not sure whether that's the costume that Fitzjoseph was thinking about or not. We need the TV to shut itself off unless your show is show ID'd. How about if you don't like it, turn it off. Puts the power back into the thing. It's too dangerous for kids. Kids are rotten. Beep. So,
Whoa. I think YouTube caught you on that one. It actually beeped you.
I beeped myself.
Oh, don't do that. That's gross.
They
Don't talk about beeping yourself.
The green and
It's
purple.
a family show. I keep telling you. Family friendly. Never knew about this character. So many DC characters. Wonder if he was ever on any show.
He might have been. I'm not sure. Let's see. When did they? Okay, let's use Wikipedia publication history. 1963. I'm just seeing whether I can get a 196. He first appeared, it says, in Green Lantern, Volume 2, 21. I'm looking at image 12 cents. DC, Green Lantern, September. I don't know. Open and new copy image. Let's see. Create new clipboard. See whether I can read this. Oh, that's 47. Doesn't show him on Okay, well, I don't know about his original suit. I can't. I can only find basically two suits here. The one that I had and the other one that I showed from Who's Who. So, anyways, doesn't matter. It was Dr. Polaris. Nobody got that round. We need a Simpsons character to say, won't someone think of the children?
What? I am thinking of the children.
Keep in mind that older FCC regulations were made by old school Bible thumpers, so they themselves needed to give a pass in the broadcast. Television needed to quote passages. Joshua says this is a fake Groggle Simpsons character. Anyways, okay, so nobody got that. I thought somebody might get it, but I guess not. So I guess they weren't very attracted to him. And I guess that's good. I guess he did not have enough of a magnetic personality. But see whether this round 8 will be a little bit more magnetic to them.
Is that a hint?
No, that is just going out saying something to transverse to the next round. You based on the character that I had used.
Oh, okay.
So we're round 8. Any idea who this might be?
Y- um, um, it could be several characters. This is interesting. I started off thinking it was one character, but now I think it's someone else.
Metal says for Dr. Polaris, he says he was a bit too polarizing, if you ask me. Tim is saying Captain Atom. Joshua is saying Firestar. Firestar is Marvel. So there's a wrong answer for sure. And then Fitzchozo says Captain Atom. So do you think Fitzchozo and Tim might be correct? Do you think it's some other character?
I'm leaning towards another character.
Okay. And what character?
I want to let everyone else make a guess first.
Well, technically, Tim guessed. He said Captain Atom. Then Joshua guessed and said Firestar. And I think he's trying to correct this thing because he's got Firestorm, but he already said Firestar. But Fitzchozo agreed with Tim and said Captain Atom. So everybody's technically guessed. Metal doesn't do guessing, and not sure whether
Well, Firestorm was my first guess, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking of one of the Green Lanterns.
So, what's your final answer? Or do you
I-
not
I'll,
want it?
I'll just follow the crowd then and say Firestorm.
Follow the crowd. Firestorm was Joshua. The crowd is saying Captain Atom.
I don't even know who that is though.
Oh, well, you should have went with the real crowd because Captain Atom is who it is.
Oh man.
There was not a firestorm around. So Tim gets number one there, and then we have Fitzchozo. And then Joshua doesn't get any points.
Sorry, Joshua. You can share your points with the medal.
And Timothy says, "Boom, baby, yeah!"
What?
Just because he got the right answer and he was the first.
I'm not that great with DC characters.
Yeah. Joshua is now saying Pepsi Man for whatever reason. So it seems like Tim atomized that round, but let's see whether he'll be the captain of round 9.
Okay.
Metal says Pepsi Man is a superior character.
I think this could be one of 3 pop in my mind when I see this.
Tim is saying Batgirl. Joshua is saying Huntress. And Fitzchozo says Huntress. So the 3 people that are here that are guessing have guessed. Who are you going to say? Fitzchozo.
These are all good guesses.
They're all good guesses. And
That doesn't mean they're right. It just looks like that character, you know?
yeah, so do you think it's a different character?
It could be any character. I mean, there's a lot that have the silhouette.
Yeah, true. But everybody has guessed. I'm trying to get you to do your answer before.
Just to be different, I'll say Catwoman.
Well, Joshua and Fitzchozo were hunting down the right path because it was no bat and it was no what did you say? Cat. It was no bat or cat. It was a huntress.
Wow. I've never seen this design of her before.
Yeah. I've seen it a couple times. It's not one that I really like, but
Yeah, she's usually wearing more clothes.
yeah, so let's see. Joshua gets first place there, and then Fitzchozo. And Tim did realize that Joshua and Fitzchozo were right because he did say, "I think you're right, Joshua." And Tim Metal says, "It can't be any character. There are more it couldn't be than it could have been."
That's true. I should have said it could be several characters.
Okay, we've hunted down round 9. Time to hunt down round 10.
Hmm.
So, any clue as who this might be?
Indiana Jones? It's not. It's not a DC character. Don't use that answer.
Well, it is a DC character. We have Joshua saying Jonah Hex. And Fitzchozo saying Jonah Hex. And Timothy saying Jonah Hex. Do you think this is Jonah Hex?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Well, you've all got a hex on you because it's vigilante.
What? I don't even know who that is. I just
Greg,
knew that Jonah Hex wore a coat, but this guy didn't have a coat, but he got the cowboy hat.
yeah, this is Greg Saunders vigilante. So nobody got any points that round.
Wow, this round was tough.
And Tim is booing me. Really booing me. Hey, it's round 10. It's not supposed to be early. Fitzchozo says, OG Vigilante, the less famous one. Yes. I said I was going to try and get some obscure characters. The Golden Age one, says Metal. So let's see when they're, everybody can vindicate themselves in round 11.
Wow, that's difficult. Hmm. Any guesses?
Tim's, oh. Tim's really thinking on this one.
Not a lot to go by.
Well, there is the glove, but not really much, you know. You're right there. Probably not a lot to go on, but.
Yeah, it appears to be a.
Tim says, Nightwing?
Well, there's several designs for Nightwing, so maybe.
Metal says running. Puts a guy running. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. So we're just waiting for an answer from Fitzchozo, maybe Joshua. If you're not gonna try, just let me know. If you give up for this round.
Well, they're trying. They just don't have an answer.
Fitzchozo says Jay Garrett, the original Flash. And just we're waiting on Joshua. If Joshua is going to make a thing. Guess. I should probably try the counter again. Okay, I'm gonna do the counter, Joshua. T T T T T T T T T T. Bum 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 bum. No no. Metal says, "Be quick about it." 4, 3, 2, 1. No more. So it seems like Joshua's not guessing. And Nightwing was wrong. And so was Jay Garrick. Any ideas?
Well, since there's so many of them, I'll say a Green Lantern.
Nope. But you did have a
What?
color in it. Blue Beetle. The original Blue Beetle.
He's gray.
Dan Garrick. It's bluish. Now, originally he wasn't owned by DC. Again, he was, I think, Charlton. But they acquired the property, and he is still in their lore. So he's now
Oh, I have the
technically.
comic where they killed him. DC killed him and replaced him with a Latino.
Well, before they did the Latino, they had another one in between. Ted Cord.
He was friends with Booster Gold.
Yeah.
I have that issue.
Yeah. Yeah, he may be public domain now, but he was technically owned by DC. They did acquire him, the name and all that. In fact, Ted Cord got the Beetle originally off of the Scarab Beetle off of Dan Garrick.
Oh, so the beetle I saw die was the second beetle, Blue Beetle?
Yeah, Ted
Oh.
Cord is the second one.
So he's a legacy character.
Yeah,
He keeps passing
then
on a mantle.
well, he wasn't able to activate the Beetle or anything, so he ended up becoming a Batman, Spider-Man type character. He didn't have any powers. He just had tech. Well, not Spider-Man then, Batman.
Oh, so he really wasn't the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, OG Blue Beetle is Dan Garrick, the original one. But it is said that he got in the lore he is supposed to have gotten the beetle off of him, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. So that, and because the beetle was blue and all that, that is part of the reason that he named himself Blue Beetle, as well as Dan Garrick being.
Wow, that's complicated.
Yeah. It's, like this guy, like I said, he was originally owned by Charlton, but I think it was Charlton anyways. But DC acquired their characters and implemented them into their universe. And then they changed to was Blue Beetle. Yeah, I'm not saying it worked for Ted Cord. I'm just saying he owned it. It was given to him upon, I believe, Dan Garrett's death. It just didn't work for him for whatever reason. I'm not sure whether they ever said. And as Tim said, let's next round. Yes, let's scatter onto round 12.
Wow. That's not a lot to go off of.
Metal says tons of old, formerly non-DC characters have been incorporated into the universe. Just look at the All-Star Squadron.
I don't know who that is.
That's a team. Or do you mean you don't know who this is, Mike Silhouette?
Both. I'm lost. Fitzchozo is guessing Dr. Light. No, that's from Mega Man.
Different Dr. Light.
Oh. That's
DC,
from Battle of the Planet.
DC has several Dr. Lights.
People need to be more original with names.
Yes, well, DC had them first, so it's Mega Man that needs to be original.
Aw.
And Tim's copying him. I doubt Josh. I'm not sure whether Joshua's still here. Joshua doesn't seem to be guessing. But I'm sorry. The light was not shed on this character, but it is now. This is Godspeed, a Flash villain.
He's a villain, but he has such a cool name.
I'm pretty sure he's a villain. Oh, Joshua says I give up. Oh, and we're on.
Seems like you're going to have more points than anyone, Cross.
I don't get any points.
You're stumping everyone.
Yes. Well, let's speed over to round 13. Fitzjosa says, "You expect me to remember all the Flash Speedster villains?" I don't necessarily expect you to remember them all. But this could be any DC character that is considered part of their universe. So, you're not going to remember every single character that they created. That's for sure. Metal says DC has far more characters with similar silhouettes than distinct ones. So, any idea who this might be?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Wait. Okay. This is someone totally different than I thought it was. Now that I think about it.
Joshua is saying Artemis. And then Tim agrees. Artemis. And then we just have to see what Fitzchozo does. And Tim corrects the spelling of Artemis. Okay, Fitzchozo says he is not answering. So who did you think it was, and who do you think it is?
Well, I thought it was Power Woman at first, but now I think it's Cassandra Sandsmark.
Well, you're coming along the right path because that is a Wonder Woman character. But you were wrong because Joshua and Tim are right. It is Artemis.
Oh, man.
They were on point.
Well, I just remembered a picture that had a lady in the Wonder Woman suit with a ponytail who had blonde hair.
That probably would have been close to her because she was in the Wonder Woman suit with, well, not blonde hair, but red hair. She took over for Wonder Woman back in the 90s. Or was it early thousands? Whatever.
Oh, man.
So, let's get on to the next round. See whether anybody can get this one. Because we are on round 14, so they are supposed to be hard at this point.
Oh boy.
So somehow I don't think you have any clue who this might be.
Nope. I have a guess, but I'm pretty sure I'd be wrong, probably.
I wonder about Joshua, Tim, Fitzchoso. They're probably all waiting for somebody else to put in an answer so they can copy. Okay, I got a question for them. Do they want a hint? And everybody's got to say yes. In the chat. That's participating. Fitzchoso says hint. I'm just waiting to hear from Tim and Joshua about a hint, whether they want a hint. Do 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 do. Joshua says sure. So now we just need to hear from Tim whether he wants a hint. Metal says I'd rather have a mint. And Tim guesses Nightwing, ruining everybody's chance to get a hint.
Uh-oh. That does kind of remind me of one of his designs. You never know.
Yep. You never know. So, Joshua Fitzgerald, are you going to guess now, or are you just going to leave Tim in the lurch? Okay, I'm going to give the counter again. Do, 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 do. Nope. The thing was, before anybody made a guess, well, I didn't exactly say it, but I've said it before, that everybody has to say what the hint before anybody makes a guess. And there we go. The thing is down. And I guess nobody had a wing or a prayer because lightning didn't strike with Black Lightning.
Oh, yeah, I would have never got that. For a second, I was thinking it was Brainiac. And I was like, no, not Brainiac. Maybe it's Martian Manhunter. And I was like, no, not that. And then he said Nightwing. I was like, well, one of the Nightwings kind of looked like that. He had really long hair. Maybe that could be it, yeah. But I was wrong.
Yeah. He was not. He might light up the night light a little, but let's see whether we're going to get any lightning striking in round 15. Tim said sorry to everybody. So, any idea who this might be?
Can't say for sure. I'm scared.
Yeah, that didn't look like a bald head. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. It should have been. I'll check something after. Oh, we got Fitzgerald saying Firestorm. We got Tim saying the Ray. And Joshua. We're just waiting on Joshua. Are you going to guess, Joshua? Let me know one way or another. So, did you say you think you know who this is?
No, but I probably have a guess, but I don't know who it is.
Okay, 30-second countdown for Joshua. Doop 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 doop. Me 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 me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joshua comes in the last second saying Firestorm, and he is wrong. Because this guy will light up your life, and no, he's not a Green Lantern. Because he doesn't have will. He has fear. It's Sinestro.
Oh man, I wouldn't have got that. Is that Uncle Eve's picture? Uncle Eve drew that?
Maybe, yeah. So let me quickly figure out what we're doing next week. Topics.
It's like the dealer wins. House wins. House rules.
Oh, do 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 do. How about we do? And what have we done so far this season? I'm just gonna. We do. Video game characters from the 90s again. So it's a part 2. We did it first season. So video game.
I think most of the people here were around in the 90s. Maybe not Fizz, but everybody else.
Joshua says kind of a scuffed silhouette. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. And I was gonna check out that Black Lightning one, see whether I did anything wrong there. Tim says a grown man should not refer to another grown man as Uncle E. Metal says if you want to do anime next week, we could get in a call this weekend. How about not this week, but the week after we'll do anime, Metal. And then Tim says, "Hey, respect yourself." And then he says, "How about Mortal Kombat characters?" Well, that would I'd probably just go with fighting games if I did that. Whenever you want. Okay, so let's quickly check out 14 Black Lightning. Because I told it to... Oh, you know what probably happened? I didn't realize there was these things here. Extra stuff on the side of his head. I'm not sure whether you would have got it anyways. You probably wouldn't have. But
that threw me off a bit.
So I will give a point. 1 point to Josh, Tim, and Fizz Chozo. I'm writing this down there, so I'm going to save the scoring.
Yeah, I had a hunch it might have been the mullet Nightwing from Teen Titans when they went to the future.
Yeah, when you're back a bit, it's harder to see that sort of thing. And I just, usually I just copy, I tell it to select the thing, right? The character around the character, and then I just do things. Black, do another layer and fill that area in with black. Usually I can tell when it's messed up. I knew something was wrong, but it did seem a bit weird to me, and unfortunately I should have corrected it. I don't think anybody would have got any points off of it anyways, but that's beside the point. Everybody's going to get a point off that because of my mistake. But I actually have to go out quick, so I'm going to be ending this without too much discussion. So next week, I said video game characters. Did I say 80s or 90s?
Whatever you want.
Okay, we'll do 90s. Yeah, 90s. Video game characters from the 90s. So this is part 2. There shouldn't be the ones that were in the last one. Not that you will remember, but you can always go back and check that out to see which ones are there. So anything you want to promote, Alpha, before we take off?
Just Chester Busby's Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition that's going on right now.
Okay. And do you know what they're drawing there tonight?
They are promoting they're promoting a book called Robot Girl.
Okay. Sounds interesting. So yeah. Well, thanks for coming on as usual, being my co-host for the Silhouette game. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming out. I will be back on Saturday evening, Saturday morning, and I will be coloring up more page 1 from Snowdrift 2, which Alpha is drawing. And just a quick question: you think you'll have page 3 done by the end of the week?
I I'll try to get started on it.
Oh,
But
you
I
got
need to
started
get
on
this
it.
animation.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, you had started page
I did?
3. Yeah. You
I'll have to
got
look at that.
you got 2 or 3 panels done on
Wow, cool. Good job, me.
it. You were wanting some needing some Rick Arrow stuff from me, so I got that to you. There's a whole bunch of there's like 3 or 4 turnarounds up on the thing so you can get them, so of various characters
All
that
right.
will be in there. Anyways, yeah, so I guess we'll catch everybody later. So bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be for you.
Peace.